find the Roof tool in the Architecture tab. First, select the type for your roof. Second step is to set the correct level and offset. Then, draw the roof limits using boundary lines. Click the green check to complete. Then roof tips. Tip number 1, remove slope to create flat roof. By default, a roof created in Revit will be sloped. In this example, we will convert the sloped roof to a flat one. The first step is to select the roof and click on Edit Footprint. Then, select all the purple lines and uncheck Define Slope in the option bar. Click the green check to complete. Tip number 2, activate Slope to create a sloped roof. In this example, we will convert a flat roof into a sloped one. Select the roof and click on Edit Footprint. Select all the purple lines and click on Define Slope in the option bar. There will be a triangle icon for each boundary line with a slope. Click the green check to complete. If you activate the slope for all boundary lines, you will get a hip roof. If you want to get a gable roof like in the image, you have to deactivate the slope for 2 of the boundary lines. Select the roof and click on Edit Footprint. Select the 2 lines and uncheck Define Slope. Click on the green check to complete. You now have a gable roof. Tip number 3, modify properties to adjust roof slope. By default, the slope of a roof is set at 30 degrees. Click on the roof and change the angle in the roof instance properties. You can use angles but also percentage and ratios. You can also use the arrows on the 3D view to manually adjust the slope. Tip number 4, modify each line to get a regular slope. In the previous tip, we saw how to change the slope for the entire roof. It is also possible to create an odd-shaped roof, with each boundary line having a specific angle. Click on Edit Footprint. Select an individual boundary line. You will see the angle property in the middle of the line. Change the value for each line. Click the green check to complete. As you can see, the roof becomes irregular. Tip number 5, activate overhang on picked wall roofs. When creating a roof, it is possible to draw the overhang part of the roof extending beyond the wall by moving the purple boundary lines. But there is a much more efficient way to do so. When creating the boundary lines, use the Pick Walls tool in the Contextual tab. Select each wall individually and the boundary will be automatically created. Then select all boundary lines and adjust the overhang value in the option bar. What is really great about Pick Walls is that if you decide to move a wall, the roof will automatically adjust. Tip number 6, add vertical or biface opening. To create an opening in your roof, you can either use the vertical or the biface opening. Go to the Architecture tab and select Vertical. The vertical opening will always be cut in a vertical way, whatever the roof slope is. Simply select the roof and draw the boundaries of the opening. The biface opening type creates an opening that is perpendicular to the slope of the selected face. Select the biface tool, pick one of the roof face and draw the boundaries. Tip number 7. Use shape editing to create flat roof slope. To create the small slope for a flat roof, you have to use the boundary points. When a roof is selected, shape editing tools appear in the Contextual tab. Use the Add point and click somewhere in the middle of the roof to create a low point. Then use Modify Sub-Element to change the value of that point. Set a negative value to make it lower. As you see, the slope lines are automatically created. Tip number 8. Use Reset Shape to go back to flat roof. To go back to a perfectly flat roof, select the roof and click on Reset Shape in the Contextual tab. Tip number 9. Set variable material for slope insulation. By default, when you create the slope in a flat roof, the entire roof will be sloped. To create the slope only in the insulation, go to the Edit Structure menu for the roof type. Check the variable box for the insulation material. You have to make sure that this material is at least as thick as the slope you want to create. As you see in the section, the bottom of the roof is now flat. Only the insulation and the materials above have a slope. Tip number 10. Add fascias and gutters. When clicking on the Roof submenu, you have access to fascias, gutters, and soffits tools. Simply click on the edge of a roof to create one of these elements. 5 advanced roof tips. Number 1. Set cutoff level to cut roof horizontally. In the properties, set a cutoff level to cut the roof horizontally. This can be used to create a gambrel roof or other roof type where the slope is interrupted. Tip number 2. Use roof by extrusion for weird roof shape. First, set an horizontal work plane. Then, draw the profile line of the desired roof. That line represents the top of the completed roof. Click the green check and your curved roof is now complete. Tip number 3. Join roofs at opening to create dormer. To create the dormer, first you need to model all the required walls and the small roof. Then, use the Join Unjoin tool in the Modify tab. Click on the edge of the dormer roof, then select the face of the big roof to join to. Then, go to the Architecture tab and select the Dormer Opening tool. Select the main roof, then pick the edges of the small dormer roof as well as the dormer walls. Use the Trim tool to join the purple boundary lines if required. Click the green check to complete. As you can see in this section, the dormer is now complete. Tip number 4. Use Slope Arrow for odd-shaped roof. You will find the Slope Arrow tool while editing the boundaries of a roof. Draw the arrow parallel to how you want your slope. Then set the level at the tail and at the head of the arrow. The whole roof will adjust to this slope. Tip number 5. Select cut type for sloped roof. There are 3 different settings to adjust the end of a sloped roof: plumb cut, 2-cut plumb, and 2-cut square. Go to the instance properties of the roof and adjust the rafter cut parameter. When you select one of the 2-cut type, you can adjust the fascia depth value.